So let's go through what Q4 looks like as an advertiser. And if you're an e-commerce business, if you're just someone who cares about what's happening during this Q4 period, when there's sales, when things are happening, this should be very, very helpful for you. Of course, it won't cover everything, but hopefully it covers enough that it gives you an idea of what to look out for, how to plan your budget, how to plan your promos, and how to actually get sales and win in this big Q4 period. So let's dive in. I'm going to really start at the end of Q3 because really big things for Q4 happen all year, but let's zoom in. Let's be realistic. Most of you aren't really thinking about Q4 until you get to Q3 and you're like, oh crap, I need to plan. So it starts in August. So at the beginning here, you really need to look at your early testing in August. And you're thinking, why August? It's summer, it's the end, people are going back to school. But right then you're able to create tests that you will reuse later in the year. And so you might test your market. And so what we call it is early top of funnel promo testing, right? So early top of funnel, of course, is, people that aren't in your middle of funnel. They're not on an email list. They haven't, subscribed. They're not an SMS. They haven't bought before. They're new. So they're new to your brand. So you're going to test different promos for that audience to see what works for them. So here's some ideas. I list them out here. This is an idea. If you don't really do promos, of course, you may position this different. But if you do, this is very, very helpful. You may try things like 20% off. Try it for a couple days. 30% off. BOGO. 20% off and free shipping. And you really are trying to match make what gets that top of funnel audience interested, right? You've got your standard promos and your products and, those can vary. The creative, of course, always needs to be important. But when you're really trying to get someone over the line who's new, think specifically, if you're competing with other people, you have to have a good offer. And if your offer doesn't match, if there's a gap and you don't see a huge jump in top of funnel, then clearly that didn't match. But why August? Because August is low CPMs. CPMs, of course, the cost to reach 1,000 people. So it's really important for you to understand, I need to test now when it's easy to see if I can make it move. Of course, if you have seasonality, take that into account, but don't not test in August. So at the end of August, we push that. The next thing to look for is going into Labor Day. So of course, let's move into September. So the beginning of September, you have Labor Day sales. This is a transitional period in advertising where you're really moving out of the gulch of summer where most people aren't buying and they're beginning to get in the buying mode. It's another really good low CPM period. I mean, it'll spike up higher than August, but it won't be anything near Q4. But it's a really good period for you to dive in and see what's an offer that gets people to move. Now, where we are with Ad Squad and what we encourage our brands to do is test middle of funnel. Everyone's still focused on new customer acquisition. Top of funnel, middle of funnel. Middle of funnel, of course, they're engaged, they know who you are, but they haven't bought. So this is a really good time to test a middle of funnel offer to say, can we get top and middle to move? What will that look like? Let's say you have a standard practice. All new customers get 10% off their first order. What you may say is, all right, Labor Day, we're going to try, 20% off and free shipping. Or we're going to say, hey, Labor Day, teeter it. We're going to do the 10% off for all of our customers, top and middle, because middle is going to consider themselves, oh, I've looked at the brand, and we're going to give you free shipping because you have to really find what stops your buyer from buying, and let's leverage this promo period. Now, don't give away the farm. Of course, know your COGS, know your costs of acquisition, your product, and know that the bundle will be worthwhile, but frame it towards your newer audiences. If you're just trying to drive revenue with, let's say, your bottom of funnel, of course, you could do that in an email campaign. You could do an SMS campaign. You can begin to bring them back. That's fine. But you should really be focused on new customers. Why? The more people you expose in August, September, and October, the cheaper it will be for you to convert people who are just exposed in Q4. Because we all know your cost to reach people goes up when you're in Q4. What do I mean by that? So one, if you go back and you look at your advertising platforms, you look at one column, CPM. If you look at your cost to reach, which, CPMs cost to reach, million, 1,000, cost to reach 1,000 people, what was that in November of last year? Odds are it's considerably higher than your CPM now in Q3. And so when you're testing in top of funnel, you're exposing more people. You're bringing people down the funnel from your top into the middle of funnel. That's invaluable. We always push really, 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 really hard August, September, Reels, video view, engagement, lead campaigns, SMS lists, because all of those people, we aren't paying again in Q4 to get them. So I'm really encouraging everyone to push top of funnel, push middle of funnel as hard as you can. All right, so next, after Labor Day sales, which is another good testing period, we move into final Q3 testing period. I have it listed, of course, from September 7th all the way through the 20th. Change it as you will, but just be cautious of what's going to happen in the two big sales in September. So what this period looks like is you looking and trying bundles. You trying new forms of creative. You trying new platforms, hint, hint, TikTok, organic, trying to get these things moving because you're going to promote the creative that converts. And you may try a bundle that in Q4 you're going to bring back and slap on a sale with it. So in this period, get really creative. So if we're going to say, I have AOV of like $49, right? I may say, what if I take two products now, bring that AOV up to $99, $49, $99, whatever, work the math. I'm going to try to run a bundle and I'm going to try new creative in Reels formats. I'm going to try videos. I'm going to try TikTok. I'm going to see what I can do in this period. Of course, lower CPMs. You get to test something that if it doesn't work, it's okay. It's not, it's not the Super Bowl. We're not in Q4, but it lets you try something that can be really, really effective. So in that period, you should be thinking, what are we wanting to run in Q4? What are we wanting to run during our promo? Maybe during Cyber Monday, maybe at the end of year, maybe a new year. Maybe you're a product that sells really well at New Year. Test it now because your CPMs are low. Once you get to the later Q4, you won't have that opportunity. So again, name of the game in Q3 is testing, trial, error, figure it out. And then of course, at the end of summer, you have a really growing now sale, and it's fall sales. So what's happening now is people are beginning to get warm and fuzzy. They're thinking, okay, October's here. It's right around the corner. What does that mean? Holidays, sales, and then you're competing with everyone. You're competing with a mailbox. You're competing with an inbox. You're competing with an SMS. You're competing with everyone the further you get into October. So if you do have good sales, push it now. It is pre-Q4 pricing, but it's an opportunity for good sale. And if you do have fall products, you should have already released them now. You should be releasing at the beginning of September, testing them. That way they're ramped and rolling. I would encourage you to probably push your fall sales into the end of August as well. All right, so let's move in October. All right, so October has a big period. And it's not a blank period, but what's happening in this period right here is you have this gulch of time. Because the later you get in October, the more people are beginning to think Black Friday. I'm going to buy for holiday. You'll get a few people that are, high achievers that will jump in. They'll make a purchase in October because they know they want to get ahead of the game. Not everybody's like that. Most people aren't. Most people don't think about it till it's, been shown in front of them like 14, 15 times. We all know that. But if you do have a low budget being you can't compete with the big guns. There's 4 or 5 competitors that are going to own your space, control the vision, right, of your customer. This would be a time to get creative and think, what can we push really hard in October? But I'm going to caution you, don't push everything because your customers may not be in a buying position, even if you're in a really selling position. But if you have fall products, you need to be hitting the ground running really, really hard in October because your CPMs, although will start to increase, they'll begin to take a dip just as you get to the end of October because everyone's going to start waiting to buy. End of October, of course, you have Halloween sales, and this is November pre-sales. So if you do have anything that's a good holiday sale item that you want to push, maybe let's say Thanksgiving focused, product focused, holiday family focused, whatever, this would be a really good time to push it really, really, really hard because you can get it to them before those big holiday periods when people are together. All right, so let's dive into the all important November. This November, different than other Novembers, is an election November. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, political. No, I'm trying to save you money. With election periods, similar to 2020 and before in 2016, what you'll see is this crazy CPM. Let's say your CPM is like an average of $9, right? That's great. You have good creative, you're engaging. In November, what happens is you have millions of dollars engaging after everyone's customer. Everyone's customer is now getting hit with ads, political ads, localized ads, targeted ads, and there's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars poured in this November. I know. In 2020, it happened. And our CPM, which was an average of, let's say, $21 for one customer, went to like $121. So save your money and be smart. Don't take all your fishing lures out of the water. Obviously, don't stop all your advertising because you don't know what will happen. At the same time, be smart about it. Be ready to watch those CPMs closely to say, okay, we don't want to plan any big promos on that weekend. Why? Because there's going to be tons of ads. because there's going to be tons of different things happening. So be really cautious about it. All right, so let's dive into pre-Black Friday pushing. So what does this mean? Pre-Black Friday, low budget, pre-Black Friday, mid-budget, and pre-Black Friday, high budget. That is based on what your budget is. So if let's say you're a brand and you average spend like 10 to 15,000, per month, and you've allocated no more than 10 to 15,000 for the month of November, what I would say is you're a low budget, right? You're not going above your budget. You're not competing outside of your range, of your normal range of influence. You're staying within a low budget period. I would suggest you don't compete with everyone during that Black Friday period. I would suggest you come up with an offer, maybe November 11th through the 13th, where you're pushing, saying, this is our Black Friday. We're going to push really, really hard. That would be the time to do it. Then let's say you're mid-budget. If you normally spend 15, 20, but you're going to spend 30 or 25 at a good 10, I would still push really, really hard to consume as much of that traffic as you can and still, similar to the low budget, save budget for your Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Small Business Saturday sales. Why would I do that? Because when you start getting closer to Black Friday, your CPMs go up, your costs go up, and everyone begins to compete. Now you're not just competing with your competition, you're competing with big, big budget. And the big brands now, they know about Facebook, they know about social media, and they are leveraging it. So be smart about it. They're going to push really, really hard, and they're going to roll what used to be TV ads into social. It's been happening year over year. It just be ready for it. And then high budget, of course, is over Black Friday period. You want to dominate the market. You want to spend, and you want to prevent people from not only seeing, you want to convert everyone. But let me step back just really briefly and say this. You should not be just hitting top of funnel during Black Friday. Yes, you should, but you should also be just converting in masses the thousands and thousands and millions of people that you've pushed into your middle of funnel through September, through October, and into early November. Why? Because the CPMs were cheaper then, and now they're not. Now they're very expensive. But if they've already engaged with your brand, they've already seen your product, they've already seen the different angles of sale, they really want to buy, they're just kind of waiting for the sale, that would be the time to pull them in rapidly. Now, plan out your Black Friday budget. You have 3 big days. Launching Thanksgiving Day, typically after Thanksgiving, 6 p.m., everyone's sitting on the couch, they've eaten too much, they're on their phone. They're in that break period between eating more and buying something. And it's going to be Black Friday. That Friday, people are typically getting paid. They're anticipating their budget. Some people get that paycheck on Thursday. So a lot of big brands launch, Thanksgiving Day. Black Friday, of course, is just chaos all day. So plan when you're doing your big push. Typically, we do a 5-4-3, 5 being the Black Friday sale, 4 being a Cyber Saturday sale, and 3 being Cyber Monday sale. But you can do a 5-4-5 depending on what you want to do. 5 being like, I'm just saying 5-4-5, like 50% off, 40% off, 50% off, 50, 40, 30. So plan what you anticipate your customers to do. If you're doing 5-4-5, your 5 should be focused on top of funnel, middle of funnel, and then you can bring it back with top of funnel again for people that saw that sale. All right, going into Cyber Monday, the end of November, you should still keep a mid to low push for your budget after that period. Why? So if you're mid to low budget, you pushed on Black Friday, you pushed before Black Friday, no, a lot of big budgets are gone. So there's this open window right at the end of November. And it's typically only like 2 days. You have Cyber Monday, which is a big sale, 29-30. Some people will drag their Cyber Monday sale on. But if it's a really big sale, it's gone. It's over. You can slip back in and have another, hey, in case you missed it, opportunity. Because your audience, they're spending their budget. But some people have seen something they wanted or they didn't see what they wanted and they have a remaining budget. That's a good time to slip in. Of course, going into December, mid to low budget post Black Friday to early December. If you want to run that weekend, it's a really, really good weekend to come back in. So as an opportunity, plan out your budget, look at where you want to land it. And don't forget the last big sale here is the Get It by Christmas, where you're running in the middle of December before you get to the end. When you get in that period of like the 19th, the 20th, most people aren't going to buy it unless it's for New Year's because they know it's not going to get here for Christmas unless you've got really good shipping, you're doing FBA, whatever. So no, Get It by Christmas is a big sale. A lot of people would just want to get it by Christmas because they want it for them, but they have that deadline in their mind where they're thinking, I need this here and now. Now, once you're done with that period, the last big thing is New Year. That is the day of Christmas and after. A lot of people aren't going to get what they want, especially if, they're buying it for themselves. They're thinking, I need to treat myself. That's a really good period to jump. But the periods to watch out for is that 20th through really the 25th of Christmas, there isn't a lot that's going on. All right, so just to recap everything, 2 big things you need to have in front of you. What are your promotions that you're planning on doing? What did you do last year and was successful, and what wasn't? And then look at this calendar, take it, look at it, and compare and overlay. What do you need to look out for? Where do you need to land out your promos? And what budget do you have going into it? Outside of that, hope that was helpful. Justin with Ad Squad. Talk to you later.